Namaste everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to this collective reading. This reading may or may not resonate 100% to whosoever are listening, and I would really like to say it over here that there are various permutations and combinations, and if you feel triggered by anything that you hear and you feel that, oh no, this is not my story, then better would be to get into one-on-one personal sessions or get into therapy so that you can focus only on your issue and your trigger. So here in this channeling session, in this collective reading, I am being shown a couple of things about the narcissist. So whosoever is in a narcissistic situation right now, I am being shown that they could be going through some kind of upheaval and confusion as to what type of relationship is this. Here I am being shown that the narcissist is making decisions based on materialistic benefits. So whatever suits them materialistically, they think that is right. And whatever doesn't suit them materialistically, from materialistic standpoint, it's not good enough for them. Then they say, oh no, this is absolutely wrong. In many ways, you can say that the narcissistic love bombing or all of the things that happen initially during the beginning of the relationship, it's because they probably look at you as a viable project where they can make something out of it. It would definitely benefit them in some way. Maybe some of the benefits they have already received. They are no longer interested in those benefits and they want more. Because this is also a narcissistic trait that they want more, always more of what they are getting. Either they will look for it from somewhere else or they're gonna try to squeeze it out from the same person. In this collective reading, I'm going to explain as to why these type of characteristics are displayed by the narcissist, these psychological behavioral patterns, so that if you are going through it, if you resonate with this, then you can focus on yourself and you can detach from them. Because in some cases, you cannot really go away from the narcissist. The narcissist could also be a platonic connection in some cases, if not romantic or if not, a partner kind of situation. First of all, the narcissist is very self-centered. The narcissist is only focused on his or her own self. And their self-worth is usually depending on external validation, which they do not seek via spiritual things or good stuff. Like when I say good stuff, it's like service, helping someone, unconditional love, just being close to God. These are not the things that they seek. They usually seek this external validation through materialistic success, status and power. And sometimes looks also. In some cases, they are very looks oriented. This focus on external validation makes them prioritize their materialistic benefits over emotional or sentimental values, which you might be having in abundance. You could be an emotional person. You could have sentimental values connected with the narcissist. You could be in love with them, or you could be thinking about them like, okay, they should grow spiritually or they should feel happy. But their happiness is not depending on the things that make you happy. The other day I had shared a video about how divine masculine is different from a narcissist, and somebody got really triggered with that. And they started saying, you did say this or you did say that in the past, blah, blah, blah. So let me tell you here also, if you have that doubt in your mind, again, this may or may not resonate 100% with you, but whosoever understands this, it's very important to know that the masculine, the divine masculine, if you have the word divine, masculine or feminine, they might go away from you. They might give you a soul shock. It can happen. Of course, it happens in the Twinflame ascension journey. What is this whole journey about? But they don't leave you only for materialistic things. They could also have sentimental value or emotional attachment with their mother or with their father, with their sister, with their best friend, with someone with whom they have spent a long time and they feel like this person is close to me. There could be some emotional blackmail going on, like the mother would give a lot of emotional blackmail. And again, this can happen vice versa if you are of male gender, or if your sexuality you feel that is more towards the feminine sides, even though you're a biological male and you are looking at another person of the opposite sexuality or gender, then in this case also they might be very close to their mother or their sister, even though their mother or sister could be very narcissistic. So 50% of the things they are going to believe is correct. Please understand, when I say these things, I am also trying to include as many people as I can in a collective session. So they could be making a decision of not being with you because their mother thinks that you are not the right match. Now the mother is right. This is how they think. My mother is right. My mother knows the best. My mother loves me a lot. But mother could not be making the decision based on love. She could be making the decision based on ego. Now this doesn't mean all mothers are like that. It is only in case of the situation that you could be in, and you may not be understanding why she doesn't like you, why the mother-in-law energy is against you. It could be because as a child you were raised in such a way that a lot of things you did and you said, they were not validated because they were not in alignment with materialistic success. Maybe the adults around you also did not know how to handle a spiritual child who is not that much crazy about toys or fancy stuff or fancy clothes. Whatever you give to the child happily accepts. The child doesn't say that I want this, I want that. If you're not going to give it to me, I'm going to, make a lot of noise and I'm going to cry and I'm going to roll on the floor. Some children are not like that. In most cases, the children who are on ascension journey are very content and satisfied kind of kids even in childhood. They don't even cry that much, they are like very relaxed and calm as compared to those children who may not be like that. Karmically, they are aligned in such ways. And by now in the ascension journey, we should know that a lot of things are karma driven. It's not for superiority complex, or it is not to say that you're not going to do your inner work because of XYZ reasons, because the only thing that we are actually here to do and focus on is our inner work. Nothing else is going to stay with you. Maybe for the narcissist, when they make money, their priority is to buy stuff, is to buy a fancy car or buy a lot of jewelry or buy this or buy that, because that buying gives them status and power, gives them external materialistic validation. But for a person who is more focused on inner work, they know that they are here for ascension. They know that they want to be happier. They know they want to be independent emotionally. They want to enjoy life from a different standpoint. Like, they don't want to get affected by these type of things, so they will focus on themselves in releasing whatever needs to be released. So if somebody, maybe your family, is always ignoring you, neglecting you, they always neglect you as if you don't even exist. But another person around them, another sibling maybe, or say if it's your brother or your sister, they are going to be so kind and considerate and so accepting towards their partners. Okay, but you have lived with them all throughout their life, your life and their life, of course. They will not see that you could be struggling with even worse problems, and they would be totally okay to neglect you and make you lonely in that situation. They look up to their partner, or they look up to someone else in the ways they do not look up to you. You know why? Because their partner could be really good in materialistic achievements. And when they look at you, they see, okay, a lot of spiritual talks, lot of talk about God, lot of talk about love, but very less or literally minimum talk about you should buy this or you should buy that and it's going to make you so happy. So they think that, okay, what's wrong? Or maybe they could see that you're a giver. Maybe you earn $4,000 or $5,000 a month, but you don't keep anything with you. You just give it away to whosoever is needy. You could be having a mission. You could be generating resources for your mission, or you could be doing some really cool stuff, some cool kind of work, or you could be focused on inner work. And you could be telling them that you should also focus on inner work. You should also live your life in simple ways. But their partner or someone else, their best friend, here I'm talking about the sibling bonds, where you have this narcissistic energy, which obviously comes from paternal sources only. Maybe one of your parent was a hardcore narcissist and their happiness always revolved around materialistic things. So the child or the children who are their favorites are obviously those children who understand this and they have the same emotion. But the child who is more spiritualistic since childhood may not have the same understanding or even same way to live their life. So there is a disconnect. So obviously, what is the best way to deal with such people? Neglect them or ignore them. And it's a natural thing. I'll tell you, sometimes a lot of people are not intentionally doing it. It's just happening, and they always pick and choose the materialistic stuff. Like if you have a discussion with them about this versus that, they will think that you have lost your mind. Or they would think that all of your problems are a result of the choices you made. You chose inner work, you chose unconditional love, you chose service, you chose God, so you gotta go through this. But when the person who's in spiritual journey, when they heal, then they don't have that many issues. They are more relaxed, they are more calm. They don't make haphazard decisions based on whatever life, all the lemons that life is throwing on them. So when they appear more calm and composed in the face of adversity, while they are going through their own personal adversity, and the other people who might have narcissistic energies or distorted energies, they could be like, okay, you know what, you can be happy if you do this or if you do that, or you got everything, why don't you have more gratitude for what you have, or you're unnecessarily struggling, this is why. You can give them 1, 2, 3, 4 reasons, and they are going to be shocked with it, but it would still be difficult for them to digest it all, because they cannot really think. You gotta tell them, hey, you know what, you're unhappy, you're suffering because you got desires. Like I made a video recently about desires, how you can not suffer and not be miserable. But how many people understood that? Because most people are looking for quick fix or false hope, and still they are in runner chaser dynamic. Those who are in surrender, they are surrendering to God. They know that this journey is not just about getting your twin flame back or getting your masculine back or fixing your narcissistic partner. It's actually surrendering to source. Those who know this journey. Those who don't know this journey, they are going to suffer, they are going to be miserable because they are not doing any inner work. They are not healing their wounds. I mean, those who are healing their wounds, their misery will be much less than those who are not working on their wounds, or they are not working on the patterns, they are not breaking their loops. There will obviously be a stark difference. But the narcissist might look happy, very independent, very accomplished, heartless, brutal, cold-hearted person type of personality. Or you would see when they move on from you, they look so happy with their new person, with their new life. It looks like, wow, they probably made the right decision because they were so unhappy with me. But that charade or that illusion, that veil of illusion, easily wears off when a person is in ascension. As soon as they heal their wounds, as soon as they get into therapy, they work on themselves. And I'm not talking about psychological treatments or psychiatric treatments where you take pills. I'm talking about proper therapy. I'm talking about a spiritualistic therapy where you work on releasing your blocked energy and your junk DNA. Then you can easily see how unhappy they are, and it may happen that they might contact you, they might communicate with you, and they might tell you that, look, I am so unhappy, I made this decision, I'm so sorry I hurt you in the past, I could not see how amazing you were, but what to do, I'm in a trap-like situation, or I'm stuck in this situation. Please help me, please guide me, please give me some advice. It can look like another level of shock because you would never expect that person to talk to you, to contact you, to tell you how much they value you now. So why are these narcissistic people always going for materialistic benefits than sentiments? Is because they have lack of empathy. This is one of the hallmark traits of narcissism, which is lack of empathy. Narcissists have huge difficulty in understanding or valuing the feelings and other people's point of view. In their opinion, only their point of view is correct and only their point of view exists. That's it. They don't think about anything else can also exist. Like a spiritualistic person, that's why we are doing all this work. A spiritualist person can talk about why the narcissist is doing this or why the distorted masculine or feminine are doing it, because they can actually look at their point of view, and which I think makes their life easy, because then they can say, yeah, my person is like this, they don't have empathy, so better is for me to not depend on them for emotional support if I still want to hang around with them, or better for me is to look at this person as a supplier of stimuli in my simulation. In my given simulation, this person can help me ascend. Because of lack of empathy, the narcissists are usually not influenced by emotional well-being or sentiments or feelings. Materialistic benefits are far more tangible and measurable for them, and it's a very logical, vertical way of assessing value in their eyes for themselves or for others. So if you go and give them a beautiful painting to the narcissist versus another person who gives them a fancy car, they're obviously going to choose the fancy car. And in some cases, let me tell you myself, I will say this, even for the empath, it could be better to choose the fancy car than the painting. Yes, in some cases that can be. But if your case is that case, then you need to work individually on this. What if the empath has a mission, and in their mission they have to feed 100 dogs every day? Now obviously they need resources. They would need someone around them who can maybe either be a good provider or be an understanding person and help in some other way, like probably help prepare the meals or help to feed the animals, because it's not just about buying stuff from the market. Feeding 100 dogs is also about going to their location, going from one point to another, making sure they're all well fed, making sure they're all happy, and making sure you even have that much time. You have like 3 to 4 hours in a day, every day, to do this work. So what are you going to choose? Maybe the person who's either going to help you in physical ways, in volunteering with you, or just doing all the things with you, or they can materialistically, financially help you. So you have to think, what if somebody is financially helping you, they promise to financially help you, or they do financially help you, but they demand something from you which you cannot give to them? Those cases can also be there. And I'm just giving you an example. It could be maybe you have to educate your siblings, or you have to look after your elder parents. You have 2 elder parents, very old. They could be having some disease. So at that point in time, you are an empath. Your biggest priority is to look after your old parents who have diseases. You have to arrange for a nurse. You have to arrange for medicines. You have to take them to the hospital every now and then. You have to be the Shravan Kumar of modern times. So what are you going to do? Who are the people you would need to help you? Obviously those who can either help you financially without those type of expectations, like sexual relationship, something that you're not into. Of course, if you're into it, then okay, it's a partnership, fine. But if you're not into it and your partner says, I'm only going to help you if you give this to me, there could be time and occasion where you would think that let me just work, let me make some business or do something that I can happily and in a right way, in an honest way, surrender to God, I can do it. And there could be other people also, who could be offering, if you're not married, but you have some responsibilities, but there are some people who are very much attracted to you. So they offer stuff to you, they offer material comforts to you, but in exchange they want something material from you, and you don't want to accept that. So empaths have lots and lots of things going on with them. It's not just one type of situation with every person. It's more like the empath has duties, the empath has their inner work, and the empath can be materialistically sound also, but they are not. Some of the empaths are very good in terms of making money. They are really, really good. I'm telling you, I know a lot of them. But they are not crazy for it. They can easily give up. They can easily be a giver. And they enjoy their job. Via their businesses, via their work, via their lifestyle also, they can serve others and they can help others and they can inspire others. A narcissist is not going to think like that. Narcissist cannot think like that. Narcissist is like, I don't have time for this nonsense. They have other things to do. They have other materialistic priorities to look up to or fulfill, some other duties. Then why a narcissist cannot do all these things is because narcissists have a very strong need for admiration. Even in world of service, I have seen some people are hugely narcissistic. They do a lot of social causes because it kind of polishes their image and it gives them admiration of others, and they have very boastful way of saying that I do it. Like they never give any credit to God or any higher power. It's all about them. They always think that it's me who's doing it. I am the one who's doing it. And they work very hard for those things, like to be that doer. Otherwise, they are unhappy too, and they're always playing some mind game. So those are different types of narcissists. As you grow further and further into this journey, you meet all kinds of people. But you will realize that they crave admiration and approval from others, and they often achieve this through their display of wealth, success, power, maybe looks. Some of them could be very good looking. Materialistic achievements are visible, they can be flaunted, and that is feeding their need for admiration much more effectively than an internal or sentimental quality. They don't care about telepathy, they don't care about intuition, they don't care about emotional connection. If their ego is hurt, then it's like they cannot talk to that person anymore. They will not maintain their commitments. If they have committed in the past to that person, whether it's a best friend situation or a lover situation, if they've said that, you know what, I'm going to be with you forever no matter what. I'm going to do whatever I can to make you happy or to help you out in your situations. If they feel that this person is speaking way too much truth, or this person is showing me that I'm acting like a narcissist, or I do things for admiration, or I do things for some other materialistic thing, gain, they're not going to like it at all. Okay. Another reason why the narcissist is usually measuring right and wrong by materialistic benefits is because they view their relationship like a transaction, where they are usually seen exchanging benefits. It's not mutual emotional support. It's not love sharing. It's not care driven. It is more about you give me this and I give you that. And okay, you might say that this happens between empaths also, but empaths don't make it an agenda. Their agenda is inner work and their agenda is always service. And the third most important agenda is surrender to source, merging with source, source integration. Whereas narcissist is nowhere close to these things. So when they are benefiting in some way, they say, okay, I will give you a product like this. For them, everything is product and you give me a product like that. So this kind of mindset actually leads them to measure right and wrong based on what they can gain from situationships also, and relationships. Now I must say one more thing here, that narcissists have very fragile self-esteem. Yeah, it may look like they have really happening life from the outside because they're really good actors, they're real life actors, so they can, even actors, some of the actors are real life actors, so they have a very good image and they act like they got a lot of work and they got a lot of money and they're so chilled out and a lot of people come to them, but inside they could be very insecure, inside they could be really scared. So despite this outward confidence, they don't have the quiet confidence, the inner confidence that the empath on inner work ascension journey would have. Of course, there are 2-3 types of empaths also. There are empaths who have not done any work, so they are obviously miserable. But their misery is very visible, whereas the misery of the narcissist may not be that visible. Now from that perspective, a healed empath would see them with eyes of pity. And they would feel bad about them, and the narcissist would also go and confide into them. But how much they want to work on themselves, that is completely depending on them and their divine timing. Because some of the narcissists I know, they know that they're narcissists, or they have a split personality, or some kind of, a lot of toxicity in their mind, and they're overthinking, but they can still go and confide into a person who they feel knows a lot more, and that person could be an empath, but still they may not work on themselves, because working on themselves sounds like too much work for them. Working on themselves, they feel like, oh, I cannot sit still, I cannot meditate, I cannot close my eyes, better I go out and smoke a cigarette, or take one shot, or have sex with somebody random, like a casual fling kind of thing. They find that much more easy. But after they've done all of that, the guilt and the shame and the embarrassment and the more misery that comes into their life, then that, I think, with time they realize it more and more. Initially they may not even realize it, and they'll say, okay, whatever, forget about it. Next, that's how they work. So of course they have a fragile self-esteem. The next important thing that I can pick on is that this person around you is trying to control you. They control people with power. They control people with wealth. They control people with certain things. Now, of course, they cannot control you the same way. They could be curious about you. They could be interested in you because they want to know what makes you so happy, what makes you less controllable, and what makes you less attracted towards them. So materialistic wealth and success is in their heads, in the narcissistic person's head, translates into power and control. And this power and control, when they don't have inner control, inner power, this is a very highly valued commodity or energy for the narcissist. Now, if you're not giving them that material wealth and success, or you don't make any sense to them in most of the things, you are like, no, this is not me, I don't like to do this. Maybe they're attracted to you for your beauty, or for your good looks, or some sexuality that you ooze unknowingly. They really like that, but they cannot deal with all of the truth speaking, the straightforwardness, all of the detachment talks you bring in. When you point out to them their addiction patterns, their bad lifestyle, they get very triggered. They go like, how is this person saying all this to me? How do they even know all this? So yeah, they will feel a bit like competitive with such people. As I reach towards the end of this collective reading, one more trait or one more strong energy that I can pick on is the narcissist is looking for a superficial relationship. The relationship that looks good from outside, or the relationship they can flaunt to others. It can be frustrating for you if you're inner work oriented, if you're love oriented, because you might feel that, do they only talk to appear great in front of others? Do they only live their life to appear great? Now, some of the narcissists, you cannot even change them. Their age or their lifestyle pattern, it just cannot shift. They could be very spiritual. They could be going to the church every day or to the temple. They could be sitting even, in remembrance of God. But how do you know this is a person who is really doing it, or they're just thinking they're doing it? Is their attachment towards materialistic things. So for the narcissist, they will form a shallow and superficial relationship with you, which looks very social, like it's a social relationship, and socially the narcissist always looks good. Very few people can pinpoint towards them. The empath might look like, okay, there's something wrong with it. Socially they may not be that great, but a narcissist is. In this journey, it's interesting how this blending in happens. So sometimes I also say, I've said this, and I think a lot of people commented me also on that particular video when they said we want to know about what is good narcissism. So I did talk about good narcissism also, healthy narcissism also. Healthy narcissism is more like you are hanging out with a narcissist, you take the good things from them, you take how they act independent or they look confident, but they are managing to do it. So you pick those things up from them. If they are so detached from you, then you can also be detached. If they are so hi, hello, socially nice, and you can also be socially nice. I mean, you can be good to them, like you can be vinamrita. You can act in ways like you don't have to really entangle with them in their stupid arguments. If a narcissist says something really mean to you, of course you know that they are saying it to make you feel bad, right? They purposely want you to feel bad. They want you to feel low. They want you to feel you're not good enough to be in their company or to be around them. So what are they going to do? They're going to say some mean things to you. Best thing is not entangle. Best thing is not bother. And in situations where you feel, yeah, you must reply or you must respond, then you do it without any attachment. You just say what you feel and that's it. If they have so much problem with you, then you can tell them, well, you don't have to connect with me. And narcissists are really good with silent treatments. They're very good with these type of punishments. So they might try to give you silent treatment, or they will act in certain ways which look detached to you, which will make them tell you that, oh, I don't need you because you're not good enough. Then also you should be like, okay, fine. I think if a person is not healed empath, they get very scared by these threats. These are threats. The narcissist will need you. If you're healed and if you can give them advice, if they feel like talking to you, they have some requirement with you, they are just threatening you because they want you to feel scared. They are playing a power game with you. And that proves that they are a narcissist. As simple as that. If they were not a narcissist, they won't be playing power games with you. They won't be giving you silent treatments. They won't be acting in these egotistical manners because you are still communicating. You're not running away from communication. But if they give you this type of behavior, if they play these games, mind games with you, then best to detach with them for whatever number of time. It can be 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years. You should not be bothered. You should let it be. That's how the empath becomes more powerful and more connected to source, because you have to think that this must be the will of God. God wants me to go through this, and I will go through this with happiness and joy. Because joy is not a feeling. Joy is not a fleeting feeling. Joy is not something that comes and goes. Joy does not depend on your life situations. Joy comes very naturally to people who are integrated with source, because those people know that whatever God is making them go through is for their best. If God wants them, those people, to face their flaws and work on themselves, they would happily do it. They're not going to complain about it. So basically, whosoever is resonating with all of this, the idea is that you should also prioritize yourself. You should also focus on yourself. Somebody is teaching you in a way that focus on yourself. And you know that you're not like them. You're not materialistically hungover or stuck on some things. You have your values and morality, and it may not be physically tangible for someone, but it is definitely very rewarding and very much emotionally tangible for you. So this is where I'm going to close this channeling session. Thank you so much for being here with me. One love, peace out, and victory to Ram.